There are plenty of folks in the media who are bitterly opposed to Donald Trump's election, and they're all starting to use a word that really bothers me. You see this popping up on television. You see it popping up in print and online. People from New Yorker magazine editor David Remnick to HBO comedian John Oliver have used it. Slate, Salon, a writer for the New York Times magazine. And that word is normalize. They say we should not be normalizing Donald Trump's presidency. And it's not very hard to figure out what that means. They think that Donald Trump is such an odious figure based on what they view as his inflammatory and incendiary rhetoric during the campaign. And, he's been called everything: racist, sexist, xenophobic, you name it. They think that the media now can't treat Donald Trump, even though he won this election fair and square, can't treat him as just another guy who is becoming the commander-in-chief. And so you hear this again: normalize, normalize, normalize. And one of the reasons it bothers me is that there was a similar effort by some on the right after Barack Obama was elected, when part of the country did not like that. And we heard this in, Obama is secretly a Muslim. Obama wasn't born in this country. He's unfit. He doesn't have the experience. He's not really a Christian, all of that. And then a lot of people would say, we need to take our country back. And that always bothered me, because Barack Obama, like him or dislike him, was legitimately elected the 44th president of the United States. If you take that view, and even if you're on the left and you think that Trump is going to do terrible things to this country, and now you're saying don't normalize Donald Trump, what you're really saying is he's not a legitimate president. I don't accept him. We should not accept the outcome of the election. The guy got 60 million votes, but we're going to say he's not normal. He's not a normal human being. He's not a normal president. And we are going to be in opposition for the next 4 years. Now, nobody is saying that the people, whether they were left, right, or center, who were vehemently opposed to Donald Trump now need to roll over and become cheerleaders for him. But he is the only president we are going to have for the next 4 years, so it would be nice if we could, on some level, root for his success in terms of the extent to which he can find common ground with the Democrats, with people who disagreed with him. He certainly seems to be talking to people who vociferously denounced him in the Republican Party and putting together his government during this transition period. And look, if Trump is as awful as his critics say, then he won't be a successful president, and it will be fine to express that. And I'm not suggesting anybody not express their opinion. But when you say let's not normalize him, you're saying really that the votes of those 60 million people, the votes of people in the states that he was never expected to win, like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, they don't really count. Those people didn't know what was good for them. And it really is a tragic outcome for our country that Trump is going to take office next January. And I just think that says more about the people using this language, people who are still angry and in denial over Trump's election, than it does about Trump himself. He needs to rise to the occasion in becoming the president, a guy who's never held elective office, who was a wealthy businessman whose biggest problems in the past had to do with hotels and casinos and golf courses. Now, he'll either be able to do that or he won't. And people are entitled to criticize him. That's good. That's democracy. That's America. What's not America is saying this is not a normal presidency. And I think the people who defended Barack Obama against the critics who would not accept Obama's presidency, want to think a little harder about doing something similar to Donald Trump.